Okay, so your name is Bessie Lucille Renault Martin,
Yes.
and what date were you born?
January the 24th, 1943.
Okay, where were you born at?
Seguin, Texas.
Were
At
you,
an old farmhouse
you were born in the house then?
in the house.
Was a doctor there?
Yes.
There was a doctor. Do you remember his name?
Dr. Davis.
Is that how they did it back then? Was this a community doctor that would do these house calls?
Yes.
Huh. So, and where do you fall in? Are you the oldest or?
I am the third child, the oldest girl.
And how many children total were there?
6.
6 total. But one was that.
There was 7. One was stillborn.
And what year was? Where would that child have been? The younger than you?
He
or
was the oldest.
He was the oldest. So the first baby.
Yes.
Was that pretty common back then?
Yes.
Okay. Well, and you were born on a farm. How big was this farm? Do you remember?
I don't remember how big it was. My dad was a sharecropper.
Did y'all know the people y'all were sharecropping for? Or
Yes.
Were they from Seguin also?
Yes.
How much land did they own? Did they own like most of the town the way, you know? Were they wealthy?
Yes.
Yeah. What were their names?
That I don't remember.
You don't remember that? So your father was a sharecropper,
Yes.
but he had how many brothers and sisters?
He had 12.
12 brothers and sisters?
Yes.
How many were brothers?
I think there was 5. No, there was 11. There was 11 because there was 5 girls and 6 boys.
And it was unusual because he was the only one out of his brothers that didn't choose a certain occupation.
Yes.
So what were your uncles, what was their occupation?
One of them was a pastor. One of them, some of them had passed away before I was born. Mine.
So they died pretty young.
Yes.
But they were all preachers for the most part,
Yep.
right?
Most part they were preachers.
Pentecostal or?
Yes, Pentecostal.
Did they farm also, or were they just strictly preachers?
Just strictly preachers.
Okay. So, did you grow up in a religious household?
Yes, I did.
Was it pretty strict then?
Yeah, my mother was very strict.
Right. And as far as you had 2 brothers and 3 sisters,
That is correct.
and did y'all all go to school?
Yes.
And was that important in your house, or
Yes.
just something you did?
Yes.
Now, did y'all go year round, or did y'all take time off when harvest came?
We had to take time off. School didn't start till after Labor Day because we had to get the crops in.
And it was for because Seguin was largely agricultural.
Yes.
For the most part, everybody was a farmer.
Yes.
In the area. Yeah. So, what was your daily life like? I mean, what you get up in the morning, you go to school.
Go to school, and we usually had to walk about a mile to the bus stop.
Yeah.
And go to school all day, and had to walk a mile home from the bus stop. And then we had chores to do. We had to feed the animals. And
Did you ever have to do chores before you went to school? Or did your brothers?
just my brothers. We had to help cook breakfast.
You cooked breakfast and
Yeah.
you watched after the younger children.
Yes.
Now your brothers, what did they do?
They worked in the fields, and they helped take care of the animals and this, that, and other. But we all had to go to the fields
Right.
crop time.
And what kind of crops did y'all grow?
Well, I guess my daddy's favorite was watermelons.
Right.
And watermelons and peanuts and corn and several years of cotton, but cotton wasn't one of his favorites.
Right. Right. And what kind of animals were on the farm?
We had cows and pigs and chickens, and we didn't have any goats. We had cows, pigs, chickens, horses.
Yeah. Now, I know it's interesting that you won't eat chicken,
No, I will not,
and why is that?
because we had a chicken farm along with sharecropping, and we'd raise 10,000 chickens at a time. From the baby ones to pullets, and then we'd sell them. And I've never ate chicken.
And you're attached to the chickens.
I
Did
was-
you work the chickens?
Oh yes, oh yes. No fertilizer better than chicken shit.
I hear you. Now, that's down in South Texas, so obviously Seguin is. Have y'all always had Hispanics, Mexicans in the area?
Yes, I guess we have. They're just not as many as they are now.
Right. Did you know any? Obviously, they were immigrants coming over. Did they? I mean, to work farms, that's not uncommon. Did you know any other immigrants? Because I know, like down there, I know I've always heard stories, like you would say that some of them old timers would still speak German and some.
Yes, yes.
So, but they weren't immigrants. They just
There's-
kept the old ways.
Yeah.
Kept the old ways.
Yeah.
So you knew people that spoke German. And obviously, you were around Mexicans. What did y'all have? What were y'all's feelings on the Mexicans since they weren't white? Obviously, did y'all think much about it, or?
I don't think we were around them too much, because I
Right.
don't think there was that many in school or anything.
And it's mostly y'all were on y'all's farm anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did so basically you never really saw a whole lot of immigrants. They
No.
were just kind of around.
Yes.
Yeah. Did anyone? How did people identify themselves? Did, some folks, especially in the northeastern cities, they'll say, "Oh, I'm Irish" or "I'm Polish." Did anyone in y'all's area view themselves as being German or Czech or anything, or were they just? I guess what did y'all self-identify as? Was it just
We
poor? Or,
yeah, everybody was poor.
yeah.
Everybody was poor.
Yeah.
We didn't get to go to town. Well, I take it back. We went to town on Saturday. That was the only time we went to town.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd sit in the car, and everybody knew everybody, so everybody'd walk by and talk to you.
Right.
Do your errands.
Right. Now, your maiden name is Renault. That's French. But your mother's family, they're Phillips.
Yes.
And what is that? Is that German?
I don't really know.
But y'all never really talked about much as far as old country or anything
No.
like that.
No.
Because your family's been in the United States for
Yes.
how long? Long time. I think your genealogy back to the 1600s or something.
Yeah, something like
yeah.
that. They used to spell it Reno.
Right, right.
Right.
And that's one of your ancestors is who the city of Reno, Nevada is named after.
That is correct.
And was a general with Custer.
That is
Custer's
correct.
last name.
That's correct.
And you also have some other famous ancestors. And what are they famous for?
They tried to be bank robbers,
Right. The
but
train robbing, yeah.
train robbing.
Right, the Reno
they,
brothers.
They didn't do too good.
Yeah, it didn't work out, did it?
No, it didn't.
Okay.
There was four brothers, I believe.
All right. Well, you have been through a lot. Now, you mostly you met my father at Green Hall in New Year's Eve, 1962.
That is correct.
All right. So, but before that, you just grew up in Seguin. You
Yes.
never really left
Yes.
Seguin.
Yes.
And how old were you when you met Daddy?
19.
19. So, at this time, you'd gotten out of high school. What were you doing after high school?
I was going to beauty school.
Okay. And was that encouraged at your house?
Well, Not too much. I just main thing is my parents paid for my brothers to go to college, and I thought I need to go to college, so
Right.
I
Went to beauty college.
went to beauty college, and I did get my state license.
Now, did your brothers went to college, and you had two brothers? What did one of them go to college for?
He put his own self through college, and he's a CPA.
A CPA. And your other brother, he went to college also?
No, he did not. He quit high school so he could help make a living for the family.
Was he the oldest one?
Yes.
Yeah. So you saw a lot, and during this time, so when you were 1960s, there's a lot of change. Now, I guess the Korean War would have been going on when you were around 10-ish or so,
Something
probably.
like that.
Did any of your family go to the Korean War?
I don't remember if they went to Korean War, but my mother had 5 brothers, and all of them were in the military, and I have had a set of twin aunts that were also in the military, and back then, and that was what you did.
Everybody went.
Yeah.
And what about on your father's side?
Daddy was the youngest of 11 kids, and he never went to the service or anything like that. I don't even remember what his education was.
Yeah.
He had a brother that was more or less like his daddy. That he always called him Pop.
Right.
Because his parents died at a young age.
Right. Was he from Seguin?
Yes.
And your mother, was she from Seguin?
Yes.
Okay. So you do. That's all anyone around there knew was
Yes.
Guadalupe County. What were your views growing up on patriotism?
We were very sheltered.
Right.
We lived on a farm, and you didn't get into adults' business. You didn't listen to adults' conversation. You went outside and played.
And but as you got older and you were married, and when the Vietnam War started, what were y'all's feelings on that? Did y'all see it as like at the time, did you see it as like a just war and people should go?
I didn't have a whole lot of opinion about anything like it. I knew people that went, but I did.
Right. And
I just thought it was.
Did you grow up around any black people?
Not really. Not too. There would be some live on the farm next to us or something, but not a whole lot.
Was there a separate school for them in Seguin?
Yes.
What was that school called? Do you remember?
I don't remember what that one was called.
Right.
Later on, of course, they were all together.
Right. And did you ever hear any racism growing up, or was it just? No. And it's mostly when you're all poor, right?
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
Whenever you're all in the same boat.
All in the same boat.
Right. Now, you left home, and where did you primarily live? I know y'all traveled a lot.
Yes.
So, bigger cities, smaller cities?
I didn't care for any big cities. We lived in Houston one time, and I didn't like that because there were sirens going on 24 hours a day.
Right. What did you think when you were a young adult, of the civil rights movement or what have you?
We were traveling one time in I believe it was Mississippi, and we went to drive in like a Dairy Queen, and we went to the window, and they had to order a different window, and there was a bunch of them come up there, and they were ready to start some problems, and they were going to go get some more, and we left.
Right. But did you, and I guess it's particularly interesting from a religious household, especially a lot of preachers in it. What did you think of the separate but equal and the old time Jim Crow? Were you accepting of it, or did you think
I didn't know any better? I thought that was
that was just the way it was.
Yeah.
But you never really thought too much that it shouldn't be this way.
Mm-mm.
Right.
That's just the way it was had always been, so I accepted to be that
Right.
way.
What about hippies and the counterculture?
Hippies.
Because you were country.
Yes.
Did you ever run across any hippies?
No, I don't think we did run across any hippies. We were out in the sticks.
Right. But when you were with Daddy traveling and
Oh.
stuff, did y'all see them?
Yeah, I'm sure we have.
But what did you think? And you see them on TV. What did you think about them? Just
Well, they lived in a commune.
right, communes.
Commune.
Yeah. It's just odd to you.
Yes.
Well, and then as you grew older and you had children, I guess, let's see, after Vietnam, we didn't really have much. What did you think of, like, just the changing tides? Because, like, you know, back when you were growing up, you had Eisenhower, you had FDR, you had the New Deal. Did anyone talk about the New Deal at the farm? Nothing
No.
political?
Mm-mm.
Now, you went through tumultuous stuff. So with, I guess it got, things started changing. And do you remember when JFK died?
I remember exactly where I was at in the whole 9 yards.
Where were you?
We had, my husband's mother lived in New Braunfels,
Mm-hmm.
and we had gone down to see her, and we were sitting in the driveway fixing to get out when it come on the radio.
And I mean, that was just shocking.
Yes, very shocking.
What was it like for the next few days? Did anyone do anything, or?
Everybody was really, really sad.
Yeah. And then after JFK, what did you think of the whole Nixon situation?
Well, I have never been too political. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because I always thought my opinion doesn't matter anyway.
Right. Right. And why is that? Because
Well, because
wealth, or yeah,
I'm a little guy,
little guy. Yeah.
don't have that much power.
Now, did you then when I got older, I joined the Marines. Did you pay closer attention to foreign affairs?
Yes.
Because obviously I got called on twice to go overseas.
Yes.
So you just watched the news while I was gone?
Yes, and worried and prayed.
Right. So, what did you think about prospects of me having to go and be in combat?
I wasn't too happy about it, but you'd made up your mind.
Right. Had you ever heard of Somalia before?
No.
Never heard.
No.
And I couldn't call you and tell you where I was either.
No.
And we had a code set up, didn't we?
Yeah.
I would call you collect,
Yes.
and when the bill showed up, you would know where I was in the world.
Yes.
Yep. So, so we had Somalia, and then you had the war in the Middle East also. But I guess we didn't. I'm sorry, I should ask you. What did you think when the first Gulf War happened?
I haven't.
It was over so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your feelings about what's going on now?
You talking about election, or what are you talking about?
Well, with terrorism and Islam, the war with Islam, basically.
I'm scared, but there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, you know, whatever happens, happens.
Are you concerned at all that your grandchildren will still
Yes,
be
I
fighting
am.
this
Yes,
fight?
I am.
I guess, how do you think where you're from and how you grew up kind of shaped your worldview? Is it, you mentioned a lot about, being one of the little people.
Mm-hmm.
Is that, growing up poor like that, I guess the way things used to run, the people with influence had money. So
Yes.
it's still to this day, your view is that they're still the ones in charge.
Well, I know my daddy, we sold watermelons and stuff like that, and he would buy for $1 or something like that. And now you go to buy a watermelon, it's what, anywhere from $5 to $10. But
Right.
and things have really changed.
Right. And when you were younger, how did you have any ambitions when you were younger?
I was gonna go to beauty school and have me a beauty shop and just have a whole house full of kids.
Right. And the whole house full of kids kind of changed that, didn't
It
it?
kind of took me about 13 years to get started on that.
That's right. And I guess, do you think America has changed at all?
Oh yeah,
How so?
a lot more mean.
A lot meaner people?
Yeah,
Do you
no
think,
respect.
Right. And do you think people, why do you think people are that way now?
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Is it because, do you think it has anything to do with people having more money, or maybe not relying on each other as much? Did
That's-
y'all rely on each other more, you think?
I didn't rely on my parents at all for anything.
Right. All right. And how do you think just life in general has changed?
Oh, it has changed a lot.
How do you think so?
I remember the first vehicle I remember us having was an old car, and it had a cloth top, and it had holes in it, and it would leak when it would rain and stuff like that. And you don't have anything like that now.
No.
Everything's jam up.
Yeah. Moving forward, what do you think? Think America will go on forever? Do you think it's going to be okay?
Yeah, it'd be okay. It just gonna be a lot of changes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Mama.
You're welcome.
I want to get into it, but